Hey folks, it's Tom, your Frugal Prepper. Just a quick lunchtime video. I just want to say this for people who might not realize it. So, as you know, I've lost over 200 pounds on Carnivore, but I've gained some of that back. I had gained 10 pounds back, and I thought it was the bread that I was eating, which I have stopped eating any of the bread that I make. I make a homemade bread. It's a very simple bread with flour, yeast, and salt, right? And it's long fermented, so it really eats a lot of those excess carbs out of it. I occasionally had a piece before, but my occasional became a little more regular. So I still make it. I just keep it in the freezer for the family. They can toast it when they want some. But I am trying not to have it. So I quit eating the bread, and then I weighed again the following week, and I put on 3 more pounds. Now, pounds can fluctuate, 5 or 10 pounds in one direction. I mean, it can fluctuate just depending on if you pooped recently, if you've drank a lot of water and you haven't peed, you know, the weight can fluctuate a little bit. But I was like, I should have lost weight if it was the bread. And so I started thinking about things I've added to my diet since I've done that. I mean, I just had some pickles for lunch, right? I occasionally have some keto mayonnaise. I had a little bit of this on my hamburger patty for lunch. But I'm not eating anything more unusual than I used to, right? So, except for one thing. I like coffee. I have a couple cups of coffee in the mornings. And other than that, I'm pretty much completely off the caffeine now. I'm drinking water, you know. And I have some Canada Dry Zero Sugar and some 7-Up Zero Sugar very occasionally. And getting off the caffeine was not hard for me to do at all. I used to drink a lot of Diet Mountain Dew and coffee all day long. And I just quit, and I didn't have any withdrawal symptoms from it at all, which is really weird because when I quit smoking, it was nothing but withdrawal symptoms, you know. But maybe it just doesn't seem like a withdrawal symptom because I went through those major withdrawal symptoms from quitting smoking. But I like coffee, and so I've been using this. I put heavy whipping cream, just the cartons of heavy whipping cream in my coffee, and that's pretty good. It doesn't have any carbohydrates in it. And I looked, and this says it has 1 gram of carbs. I'm like, well, that's not too much. And, you know, I thought I looked at it when I bought it, and it said it was really low in carbs. And then I looked. There's 74 servings per container. That means this one container has 74 grams of carbs. So I started out just putting a little spurt on my coffee every now and then to where now it's a half a cup of coffee and half a cup of whipped cream on the top. It tastes really good. I love it. Sometimes I would just pop this top off and, you know, sometimes I would almost eat a whole thing of this. And no, that's not good. That's giving me a lot of extra sugar. So this has cream, sugar, corn syrup, non-fat milk, contains less than 2% of natural flavor, mono and diglycerides, carrageen propellant. It has a bunch of other stuff in it than just cream. So this is a no-no, or if I do it, it has to be just a little teeny spurt in my coffee, like a little and that's it. But I'm gonna pretty much give up on this. What I have discovered is that you can buy these little nitrous oxide propellant things, and you can buy a whipped cream maker, and then you can just pour the heavy whipping cream in there and give it a spurt of cream on the top. It won't have the sweet flavor like this does, but it'll be a whole lot better for me, right? Because I really like the fluffy whippy cream texture. But this is a no-no on Keto Carnivore, and I didn't realize that, and I didn't look. You just have to look at all the labels before you eat something and buy it. You just really have to look, and you have to not forget. Don't just look at carbs. Look at the number of servings. So there's 1 gram of carbohydrate, and it's 1 gram of total sugars. That's another dead giveaway. And it's 72 grams. So there's 72 grams of carbs in this can. I normally try to stay even when I'm having a more keto day, it's less than 20. When I'm having a full carnivore day, I don't eat any carbohydrates. So hopefully this will get me back on the path to weight loss, away from the weight gain. Other than that, everything's going okay. I pulled a calf muscle yesterday at Kings Island. We went and rode a bunch of coasters and walked around, and it was overcast. It wasn't sunny, but it sure was muggy. It was just humid as all get out. But somehow I'm just walking, and I just pulled a muscle in my calf on one of the rides or something, and it just really started bothering me. So today I'm kind of limping around a little bit as I walk, but it's better than it was yesterday. But it's nothing compared to the pain that I used to have. Both like my knee pain when I was 200 pounds heavier, or my when I needed new knees, and my leg ulcers and all that stuff was way worse. And it was way worse before I started this new blood pressure medication that is working. I was not getting enough oxygen to my muscles when I took my blood pressure medications and brought the blood pressure down. My body would always fight those medications like crazy. So the belief is that my hypertension is pulmonary. I cannot afford to get the heart cath to see if it really truly is pulmonary. But the current theory is that my body is trying to help the right side of my heart to pump that blood through my lungs to get enough oxygen into my blood. And it's also just raising my base blood pressure really high, so the right side doesn't have to work as hard to raise it even higher to get to the lungs. That makes sense for how I got the blood clot in the part of my brain that I got it in as well, I guess. And so the treatment for that, believe it or not, is it goes by a different name, but it's Viagra, and you take a really low dose. I take it twice a day, but you normally would take it 3 times a day, but I'm stuck on twice because I'm on another medication that I can't take within 4 hours of it. So I take that medication at bedtime. But it's worked miracles. It's like my body is like, okay, we're getting enough oxygen now. We don't have to fight the other blood pressure medication. We can just let it work. And my blood pressures have been down in the 120s, 130s. Way better than 310 systolic that I had when I had my stroke, right? And before on the other blood pressure medications, anytime I got it to like 160s or below, I started having severe muscle pain. My muscles were just breaking down, and they were not working. They weren't getting the oxygen that they needed. So now I take that medication twice a day. And what they had to do was give me the generic form of it, sildenafil or something. And they gave me 50s, and I cut them in half and take a half of one twice a day. In fact, I've really discovered that I can take a half of one in the morning and a fourth of one in the afternoons. And that works fine. Because to give me the medication by the other name and the smaller pills, they're a 20 milligram dose, my insurance would have to have proof that I had that diagnosis, and I can't afford the $3,000 copay to go get that diagnosis, or my maximum deductible or whatever. And so I'm not getting the test right now, but this medication is working, and my cardiologist is willing to write me prescriptions for it. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.